I just think we, starting with me, just the energy was kind of low. Maybe like feeling a little sorry for ourselves because, whatever, we come off the bye and stuff, but not to get into the details, but we just didn't practice well. And that just reflects how we played. And I didn't practice good. And I know a lot of guys on our team felt the same way. So we have to come to work every day and just be positive. And it's one game. It's not the end of the world, but at the same time, we can play with those guys, and they played great, but we also just, shot ourselves in the foot. So we just got to move on from it.
Gee, I'm stunned that the Patriots had low energy in that game based upon the very vivacious and dynamic performance by Mac Jones in the post-game press conference. Holy crap, I almost fell asleep in that 30 seconds, Mike Golic. You were there on Saturday night when the Patriots fell in a deep hole and they tried to rally and come out of it. What did you sense was amiss with a team that we all thought was riding high after they had slayed the dragon in the AFC East by beating the Bills on that cold and windy night in Buffalo? I was stunned. What was your reaction? What was your vibe? What was wrong with the Patriots?
So first, overall, this is a team that has been built, quite honestly, around their defense and how well their defense is playing, giving up a little over 15 points a game. What that had been doing, Mike, is giving a rookie quarterback in Mac Jones room to grow. There hadn't been a whole lot able to being put on his shoulders. As a matter of fact, that previous to this game, the 5 games before that, they had only given up 3 points total in the second half. So they would eventually get the lead and hold it, thanks a lot to their defense, and there wasn't a lot of pressure put on Mac Jones, and he could kind of grow, and he's growing incredibly well. Now, what are the Patriots known for, and what's Bill Belichick known for? It's not so much always going out and winning the game, it's taking advantage of the other team's mistakes to help you win the game. They're great at that. Well, they played against a Colt team, which is number 1 in the league in takeaways. Look at the mistakes in this game. There were 10 penalties. 8 were against New England. There was a block punt for a touchdown that went against New England. One of the penalties was an offside on a missed field goal by the Colts that gave the Colts another chance to kick the field goal that they made it. So it was the Patriots who made the mistakes, and it was the Colts who took advantage of them, and you put Mac Jones in position to throw 46 passes, 45 passes? That's not what Mac Jones has done. That's not the position he has been in. So they were taken out of their game in this one. The 2 interceptions, both on Mac Jones without question. Darius Leonard set him up beautifully on the first one. So that was on Mac. And so that I think is what went on. The Colts' confidence just kept building and building. That defense just kept stuffing the New England offense. The part on the other side, in all honesty, that blew my mind was they have this great lead. It's the first time, by the way, I think in 99 games that the Patriots have been shut out at halftime. They were down 17-0 at halftime. But in the first half, Jonathan Taylor, not shockingly, carried the ball 18 times. In the third quarter, he carried it 3. I was in the booth going, what are you doing? Run the ball. They were still throwing the ball with this big lead. I'm like, you got a guy who's a legitimate MVP candidate here, and you gave him the ball 3 times in the third quarter. Now, luckily, they started giving it to him more, and he busted that big, 67-yard run, I think it was, to end the game, to put it on ice on a short yardage play. But that was a little surprising to me, and Frank Reich has done that occasionally, has gone away from the run when that's something you don't want to do this year behind that offensive line and that type of running back. But overall, it was the reverse of what New England is used to. They take advantage of the other team's mistakes. They were the ones that made the mistakes in this game.
The explosion from the crowd at Lucas Oil Stadium was remarkable. It reminded me of the old Adrian Peterson, who also wore 28. Andy's loose runs that Paul Allen would call. Just bust through a normal handoff, normal play, guy pops through, and he's gone. And you've always got that threat with Jonathan Taylor. And that took a 20-17 game, and it applied the dagger in one fell swoop as the Patriots kept chipping away and chipping away. One of the things Mac Jones said, and it may just be that as a member of the Stepford Patriots and a completely robotic in everything that he does, they had the battery in upside down. But when he said maybe we were feeling sorry for ourselves coming off the bye week, I I don't know why you'd feel sorry for yourself coming off the bye. I think he's gotten his sound bites from Bill Belichick kind of mashed up in his brain and misfiled. Because I'm sure Belichick says all the time, we're never going to feel sorry for ourselves about anything. But there's nothing to feel sorry about yourself for coming off of the bye. It was the perfect opportunity to have a bye. They were going into the final 4 games of the regular season, rested and refreshed and healthy. It reminded me of the Bucs last year, coming off of their late bye with 4 regular season games left. I expected more from the Patriots. I expected them to do everything they could to take away Jonathan Taylor. And you know what? It may just be that sometimes you design the defense to take away what the other team does best, but they still do it so well that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, listen, it was actually I expected a little more run blitzing by the Patriots in this one, but they played it pretty square, pretty straight, and you know what? They paid the price. I mean, they were not getting off their blocks. The worst thing in the world you can do as a defensive player is trade yourself 1 for 1. You know, not because that's a loss. And that's what was going on. So credit the Colts offensive line for staying on their blocks, but they weren't getting off their blocks at all on defense. And the Colts, nearly every play, Mike, it was either a safety or a backer was attacking the line of scrimmage. So they were playing on the other side of the line. And a normally split, this is a 49% run, 51% pass team in the Patriots. They weren't letting them run the ball. They were taking that part away by attacking the line of scrimmage and making Mac Jones put the ball in the air. And then because the score started to get away from him, he had to throw the ball more and more. But it was the Colts who did the attacking against the run, where I thought New England would do a little more of that.
As a result, the Colts are 1 game behind the Titans in the AFC South with 3 to play. Now, the Colts have to catch them and pass them because the Titans swept the Colts. And the Patriots, all of a sudden, that return match against the Bills on Sunday in Foxborough takes on tremendous significance because the Bills are in position by virtue of their win yesterday over the Panthers to get things even more interesting in the AFC East.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.